At that time, political idealism seemed to guide the most trustworthy smugglers that could combine the search for profit with their commitment to anti-fascism. An exemplary figure of this sort appears in Vuoto alle spalle, The Void Behind, the 1999 biographical novel on Ettore Castiglioni by Italian writer and journalist Marco Ferrari. Ettore Castiglioni was born in 1908. He was a lawyer from Milan, though mainly known for his career as an alpinist. He was the author of several alpine guides and inaugurated more than 200 new climbing paths over the Alps and in Patagonia. For his athletic merits, Castiglioni received a gold medal from Mussolini, though he later became an active opponent to the regime. After the armistice of 1943, which led to Italy's alignment with the Allies, Castiglioni benefited from his position as a climbing instructor at the military school of Aosta, which led to him joining the resistance. He became the leader of a group of 12 alpinists living on cheese smuggling and serving as passeurs for anti-fascists at the Swiss-Italian border. On September 26, 1943, Ferrari helped the future president of the Italian Republic, Luigi Einaudi, to cross the Swiss-Italian border with his wife, Ida. In the novel, Ferrari presents Ettore Castiglioni as a sensitive and idealistic passeur who embraces the values of anti-fascist resistance while also idealistically pursuing a kind of absolute freedom. Incorporating passages from Castiglioni's journals, Ferrari shows Castiglioni's empathy for refugees and his altruistic commitment to his activity as a passeur. Castiglioni felt he could simultaneously serve as the general cause of anti-fascism and support his small community of alpinists. For this purpose, he would allocate the tips given by refugees to a common fund for the community. His strong leadership was crucial for the group that dissolved once Castiglioni was put in prison. Throughout the novel, Ferrari insists on Castiglioni's relationship with the landscape and how this influenced his activity as a passeur. This relationship can be seen as twofold. First, as an attachment to the Alps and the older generations of passeurs whose knowledge Castiglioni inherited. Second, as a broader dedication to mountains and wild nature. In the novel, Castiglioni is seen as a part of a network including Italian politicians Federico Chabot and Paolo Alfonso Fariné. In particular, thanks to Fariné, Castiglioni has access to the precious knowledge that generations of passeurs from the valley accumulated over the years. How to see in the dark, how to deal with animals, how to treat customs officers. The Fenêtre de Durand that you can see in the map, so it's this one, where Castiglioni operated as a passeur, had served as a secret passage since ancient times, and there have indeed been as many generations of fugitives, including John Calvin in 1536, as generations of passeurs. If Castiglioni's knowledge of the Alps connect him to the past of the previous inhabitants, his philosophy of alpinism and his relationship with the wilderness more generally seems to point to his exceptionality and to set him apart from the human community. What is more, Ferrari suggests this particular aspect of Castiglioni's relationship with wild landscapes can actually explain the mysterious circumstances of Castiglioni's death. On June 5, 1944, Castiglioni was found dead in the Forno Glacier, apparently killed by a storm while he was attempting to cross the Swiss-Italian border, equipped only with a blanket and a pair of slippers. There was evidence that Castiglioni had been arrested in Switzerland, where he was not allowed to enter, caught using a false passport. He was therefore detained in a hotel room while waiting to be transferred to prison the following day. At that point, in the snowy night of March 11, 1944, Castiglioni decided to attempt crossing the border despite the fact that officers had deprived him of his shoes and pants. Ferrari finds himself at a loss as to why Castiglione decided to run away from the Swiss officers who arrested him, and why he attempted to cross the border without proper equipment, being a talented and wise alpinist. He supports the argument that it was Castiglione's very idea of alpinism that must have pushed him to attempt such an impossible mission. His search for the sublime, his need to establish an exclusive connection with nature. According to Ferrari, the concept behind Castiglione's philosophy of alpinism is that nothing wrong can happen in nature. In Ferrari's romantic interpretation of Castiglione's death, the Alps lose their historical identity and become part of a larger expression of the wild, the inhuman, and the immense. Ferrari builds an uplifting narrative in his biographical novel, where Castiglione the Passeur is an exceptional figure, morally upstanding and responsible for his community, but at the same time unique and inimitable due to his solitary, idealistic search for the absolute.